my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my kid's great-grandmother. Hello and welcome to Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. My name is Michelle and I am your host. Today is Sunday, June 30th, and this is episode number 12. If this is your first time joining me, thank you so much for checking me out. And if you have been viewing all along, thank you so much for coming back. It is a sunny, well, partly sunny day today. It's hazy, hot, and humid, the 3 H's as we call them here in New England. It's about mid-80s, it's quite sticky out, and we've actually got a severe thunderstorm warning extending into the evening, so hopefully we can get this recorded before any thunderstorms pop up. I have some updates on my projects that I've been working on this week. I also have some project planning that we're going to talk about. But before we get started, let me talk about what I have on Marta. Of course, I myself am not wearing any knitting. Again, 3 H's, hazy, hot, and humid. But Marta is wearing my Americana shawl. I know I just talked about it fairly recently, and Marta was sporting it a few weeks ago, but where 4th of July is this week, I thought it was an appropriate shawl for Marta to be wearing. This is the Protest is Patriotic by NY Craftivist. I used Queensland Collection United, which is a 55-45 wool cotton blend. It's a sport weight. And it was a kit that I bought from my local yarn store a couple of years ago, and I just finally finished this project back in May. So I haven't really had much of an opportunity to wear it myself. I think I did actually wear it to school on the Monday after Memorial Day, but beyond that, I haven't had an opportunity. So that is what Marta is wearing, and with that, let's go ahead and get started. I have nothing finished this week, so nothing on my blocking board, so we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into my project bag and see what I have got going on and what I've been working on. Let's pull out Ameyo first of all. Yeah, right here. So let's see, how much did I get done? I don't even remember. I think I got a little bit. Three or four rows. Yeah, not a ton. I know last week when I pulled Ameyo out, I talked about having a plan of working a right side and a wrong side row every single day, and that didn't exactly happen, but I'm going to get into that a little bit more when I talk about my project plans in a little while, but I haven't let go of that goal. So that's definitely something that I've got on my radar, but this is where I'm at. I think I have 6 more rows, a front and a back, on this before I finish section number 2. So pull that right into the camera so you can see that brioche. Isn't it coming out great though? I gotta say, I'm really still enjoying it. There's the back side. It's not focusing, is it? Try holding that. There we go. So, yep, this yarn, again, I've talked a lot about the yarn, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but just really quickly, it's the Haute Knit yarn in Jimmy Sock and the Abigail Mohair Lace. Summer Clover is the colorway in the Jimmy Sock, and 38 is the mohair. It's a mohair silk blend, and that's, yeah, pretty much where I'm at. I've talked a lot about this one, so I think I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Haven't made a ton of progress, but I did want to just pull it out real quick, give you a quick update on that one. So moving right along, project that I have a little bit more to show for is my Islands in the Stream. This one is actually, I got a lot done this week on this one. This is an easy one to pick up and put down. So that's been pretty good. Look, there we go. So last week when I podcasted, I was just finished, I believe, with this set of islands, so I got another whole color and islands done, and I have just joined in the last of my colors, my color 5. So this is Miss Babs. It is, oh no, this is not Miss Babs. This is Dirty Water Dye Works. Lillian, let me get my tags out for this one here. Oh, they're in here somewhere. Here they are. So my gray, which is the color right now, the color of the islands, that is Moon Shadow. There we go. Dirty Water Dye Works, show you the whole tag there. And then the gradient is March Sky. These are both in her Lillian base, which is 100% superwash merino. My kit called, or had rather, 5 colors, but the project, The Islands in the Stream, which is by Lisa K. Ross of Paper Daisy Creations, is written for 6 colors. So I have a thought of what I'm going to do when I finish this next color and then another set of islands. When I'm doing the color section, I'm gonna see if I can't stripe all 5 of the colors for that 6th color section, since I don't have 6 colors. We'll see how that looks. I think it'll work, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll hate it and I'll have to rip it out, but I think it's worth a try. This is a kit or a set of yarns that I purchased back in February of 2017. So I've had this yarn for quite some time now. It's really great to get it on the needles. I started this project on June 14th, right before I left for New York City. So I'm pretty pleased with the progress that I have gotten done. You can see all the different colors that are going on there. So that is my Islands in the Stream. The next project I will talk about is my Clarkei. This one, I've gotten a lot done. I haven't talked about this one in a couple of weeks because I didn't take it with me to New York. I left it here on purpose. And I had done some before I left. But look. I have a whole tank top coming along. Isn't it cute? I'm really excited for this one. Let's see, when I stopped left, I took my marker out, but I believe I had just finished decreasing, because you do the yoke, and then you work on the back, and then you work on the front. So I just finished doing the increases for the back, and I was just getting ready to start the front. So I finished the whole front of it, and then joined to work on the round, and I've got, I think it was 2.5 inches when I measured it yesterday. Look at that little detail. Isn't that really super fun? That's kind of carrying the pattern that is in the yoke all the way down the sides. I did try it on. I took the try it on tubing, the barber cord that I got last week when I was in New York City, and I pulled that out a couple of days ago, and I tried it on. It is fitting just about perfect. I know it's gonna grow a little bit when I block it, but for right now, it is doing good. I am really kind of hoping to finish this maybe by the end of the week. I really would like to get this done this week so that I have a good amount of the summer to wear it. So let's talk about the yarn. The yarn, I don't think I have any labels yet, so I'm gonna have to fish the skein out. This is yarn that I have had in my stash since February of 2008. It is from Southwest Trading. It is their bamboo. It's 100% bamboo. It's a DK weight. The color is azul, or it says AZU. I think it's supposed to be azul, which is like a blue-green in Spanish, right? So yeah, I am trucking along on this one, and I am quite pleased with how it's coming out. I think before I bind off, I will probably put the try-it-on tubing on again and block it just to see how much it grows, because if it grows this way, that probably means I'm going to lose some in the length, and I do want it to have a certain length on it. So I will probably need to actually block it. I tried it on when I tried it on this week, and I didn't block it. I just tried it on as is, just to get a general sense if it was going to be ridiculous, which I don't think it will be. So that is the state of my Clarkei. The design is a free pattern by Ameyo Designs. I am finding it's fine now that I'm in the body and I'm going around and around, but I did have a little bit of trouble. Oh, trouble is the right word. I had to do some interpreting of what she was looking for or trying to accomplish within the pattern. The way it's written, it's clearly not tech edited. And there are some typos. There are some things where I'm pretty sure she meant one thing, but another thing was written. And so I had to kind of do my own interpretation, but it's coming out fine at this point. So I would say that if you are, I wouldn't call this a beginner pattern simply because of the way that the pattern is written. Beyond that, it's not hard necessarily, but you do have to have some confidence in what you're doing to kind of be able to interpret. But it is a free pattern, so there is that. So that is my Clarkei. And I'll get this tucked away. I got one more project to share with you. What do you think that might be? I haven't talked about this one in a few weeks. But I do have my Boxy. We went to the movies this past week. My daughter and her fiance were in Maine for the week, and one of the things that we did was go to a movie. And I brought it with me, and I got a nice little chunk done. So it's hard to hold up because it's kind of scrunched up on the needles, but there you go. It's still not a ton, but where did I leave where's my stitch marker? There we go. So I think the last time I showed you, that was where I was at, there. And so I got, what, 1.5 inches or so done? We went to breakfast actually Saturday morning and I brought it with me and I got, I don't know, maybe 1.5 rounds or 2 rounds done at breakfast too. So, but most of this that you see here, that was done in the movie. So pretty cool. Boxy is by Locatelli. And the yarn that I am using is by Wonderland Yarns. It is in their Mad Hatter color base, and it is Judja Bird is the color name. So this is, again, another old yarn that I've had in my stash for probably 4 years. Yeah, I think I got this one in the spring of 2020. Just before, or just as my local, what used to be my local yarn store was going out of business. She was retiring, nothing to do with COVID, but this was a yarn that I picked up from her at that time. So I've had this one hanging out for a while too. So I got 3 projects going right now that are using yarn that have been back in my stash. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So before I move on, what I thought I would do is take a second. I did a little bit of project planning. Today is June 30th, and so I was looking ahead at the month of July and kind of what I wanted to accomplish and where I was at with my projects. I kind of was starting to first think like, gosh, I would really like to get the Ameyo done by the end of the month. If I do 2 rows per day, front and a back row per day, where will that take me? And I know my Islands in the Stream is moving along. I probably could finish that by the end of the month. And Clarkei, I definitely want to finish by the end of the month. So I decided to do some project planning. This is something that I first saw Ninny Natty doing, and so I'm taking this page out of her book, very literally. So what I did, see if I can show you here, is... So I started with my, I put July plans up there, and then I listed each of my projects. I'm having a hard time reading this upside down. So Clarkei, of course, I just want to finish, and I'm actually hoping to finish that by the end of the week. And then with, what's next? My Islands in the Stream, I listed out the sections. And then with my Ameyo, I listed out the sections and the total number of rows in each section. And then from there, I planned accordingly for each week of the month. So for this next week, which runs Monday through Sunday, I have a plan to finish Clarkei. I want to do color number 5 in the Islands section number 5, and then I want to do 2 rows per day in Ameyo. And so what I did is I created myself little check boxes so that as I do each thing, I can check it off. And the beauty of that is that as I work on Ameyo, I can check these off. If I don't quite get to doing 2 rows per day, that's okay. I guess beyond 2 per day, I have a goal of 14 per week. So if I do, because sometimes I can see, I could sit down and maybe I'll do 4 rows. And so I can check off 4 of those boxes and get a little ahead, or if I'm behind, I could easily catch up again. So it gives a little bit of flexibility, but it just helps me track where I'm at. And if we go all the way to the end of July, that would leave me July 30th and 31st to do the last of the rows and the bind off. So it is theoretically possible that I could finish Ameyo. I definitely think I'll finish Clarkei, and I'm fairly confident that I can do Islands in the Stream. We actually have a camping trip at the end of this month as well. So I'll have a good opportunity to do some knitting. And of course, I'm not working right now. It's don't have anything big or major going on this month. So hopefully I can get those things done. So that'll be kind of fun. And what would really be fun is if I finished my Clarkei and my Islands in the Stream before I go camping, which is this week right here. Maybe I could even start a new project to bring with me along with the Ameyo. So we'll see, but I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So that's kind of what I have as far as project plans and what I have in my project bag for this week. On my yarn shelf this week, I do have a couple of new things to add. My Yarnables subscription box came in on, I think it was Thursday. And so let me show you the yarn. If you are a Yarnable subscriber and you have not yet received your yarn, this is your spoiler alert. I'm actually really quick on the draw on this, so you might want to skip ahead over this section couple of minutes or so, because I'm going to talk about not only the yarn, but the goodies that I got in that basket. So, okay, you have been warned. So here is the yarn for this month. Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh, so much fun. It is appropriately enough called Oh My Stars. So yes, very much 4th of July. You get the blue and the red and the white. And oh, I don't even know what this is going to become, but I love it. I think it's really super, super fun. In addition to that, with the yarn, you always get a few goodies. And one of the goodies was this little stitch marker here. Little star. Isn't that super cute? It's got the nice little clasp at the top, which kind of like a lever back, earring back. There we go. Come on, focus. There we go. So this little stitch marker is from oh goodness, I don't even know if I can pronounce this. Mahanster Knits? I don't know, you guys figured that one out. There you go. Mahanster Knits. That is her contact information there. So that's what came in this kit. In addition, I had to laugh because one of the other goodies, there was some pop rocks, but one of the other goodies was try it on cords, which of course I just bought because I've been wanting them for a while. Kind of funny that I come home with them and literally like less than a week later I get that in my Yarnables box. But they're some blue and red. I think the 2 different colors are 2 different sizes. Does it say? I think it said on the one. No, it doesn't say on here. I think on the card that I got it said what sizes I had. So anyway, try it on cord. This is made by Yarnables specifically for the Yarnables box. So that is what I have on my yarn shelf for this week. Phew, okay, I had to put my hair up. Getting a little bit warm in here. I've got the windows down. Actually, I had the windows mostly closed and it was keeping the house cool, but I think at this point that is not working quite so well. So when I'm done, I might have to open them up and let a little bit of a breeze in because it's getting pretty muggy. Anyway, for this week's random knitting fact, this one comes from Fact Finder, I think is where I was getting this. And this one goes back to the French Revolution. This probably won't be a surprise to anybody who is familiar with the Tale of Two Cities. But tricoteuse, oh gosh, my French is really bad. Tricoteuse is French for knitting woman. During the French Revolution, a group of knitting women would sit beside the guillotine and knit through the executions. The Commune of Paris organized and paid these women to attend the beheadings and tribunals, to greet death, to insult the victims, and to glut their eyes with blood. Sorry, a little gory, huh? They would jeer and shriek and knit as the upper class were led to the guillotine. Yeah, we're all kind of familiar with that scene and have heard that. I can't imagine being paid to sit there and knit and yeah, while these beheadings were going on. It's kind of an awful time in French history, but I thought that it was an appropriate knitting fact considering it was a revolution, and this week we are celebrating a revolution of our own. Bastille Day, actually, I looked it up, or actually I asked my son yesterday, knowing that I was using this fact. And Bastille Day, I believe, is July 14th, so that's actually coming up in a couple of weeks, so it's not that far off, actually. So anyway, that is your random knitting fact for this week. Finally, my day today, I had actually a fairly low-key week. My daughter and her fiance were in the state this week. They had come back with us from New York City, and they spent this week touring different wedding venues and trying to decide where they might want to get married and when and all of that stuff. So we did in the evenings, though, we were able to spend some time with them. We had several nights where we actually just sat around and played some games and relaxed, and that was really great to spend that time with them. On Thursday, I actually had the opportunity to take my great-grandmother out for the day. My mom usually does it, but she wasn't feeling well, so she asked me to fill in for her. My grandmother, my kid's great-grandmother. My grandmother is turning 92 actually this week on July 3rd. Happy birthday, Grammy. I don't think she watches this, but in case she does. And she had an eye appointment down in Portland, and then after that we did a little bit of shopping and had some lunch, and I took her grocery shopping. So it was really great to have an opportunity to spend some time with her, which I don't always have or take, I guess maybe is a better way to put it. So that was really good. And then on Friday, we went to see Inside Out 2 with my daughter and her fiance, my husband and I. I actually have not been to the movies since, I think we looked it up, 2017 or 2018. I think it was 2017, the end of 2017. The last movie that I remembered seeing in the theaters came out then, so well before COVID. So it had been quite a long time, and it was actually so much fun. The movie theater has actually changed from kind of the normal seats that you would think of in a theater. They now have the recliners. So it was really comfy, and we could put our feet up and tilt back a little bit, get nice and cozy. We felt very, private's not the right word, but we each had our own space. So that was really nice. Nice cup holders for each chair. They were actually heated recliners, so if it was winter time, that might have been enjoyable. It was not, so we didn't turn the heat on. But and of course, I brought my Boxy, and I got a bunch of that done, and that was, the movie was super fun. My husband and I watched Inside Out, the original one, while we were in New York City, because I knew Inside Out 2 was in the theaters, and so one of the nights that we were just really kind of tired and worn out, when we went back to the hotel early, we pulled it up on Disney and watched it on my husband's laptop. So we were all prepped and ready to go and fresh in our minds from the original. So if you haven't seen the original Inside Out, I wouldn't say it's strictly necessary, although it definitely will enhance your enjoyment of Inside Out 2. And they did a good job. Sometimes follow-up movies aren't always very good, or yeah, they kind of like try to force the issue of a what's the word I'm looking for? Of a second movie anyway. But this one was actually pretty good. So we did that on Friday night. And then Saturday morning we went out to breakfast with my daughter and her fiance before they got on the bus and headed down to New York City. And so I got a little bit more knitting done on my Boxy, and that was it. It was pretty quiet. It was nice after the busyness of going to New York and going on vacation, coming right off of getting out of school. It was really nice last week to just have a really slow week. I got a lot of knitting done, just took it easy and chilled. And so hopefully, you know, of course this week we got the holiday, and planning to go visit with my mother-in-law on that day. And but I don't think I have anything else major going on. So hopefully I can have another bit of a quiet week. So with that, I thank you so very much for listening. I have everything linked down below in the show notes. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe so that you will always know when I have something new. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Knittin Michelle, Knittin Michelle, or you can certainly feel free to send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.